not only pointless, but it is counterproductive because it stops us from confronting the real parasitic criminal elite who are running this system, the powers that shouldn't be. So, on that note, let's go to a perhaps related question, this time a tweet from @thesecondgoing, who writes, "What do you mean by the Anglo-American establishment?" Now, this is a good question because this is a term that I use occasionally. I don't think I throw it around that often, but it is a term that I use, and it does have a specific meaning, so I think it behooves us to know that meaning. And of course, the term itself, I don't know if it originates from, but certainly I think it's probably best defined by Carol Quigley, who wrote in a book that was published in, I don't know, I believe the 1960s. I'll look that up, and anyway, I'll put the link to the book itself in the show notes so you can go and read the book, and from that we can get some indication of what Carol Quigley meant by the Anglo-American establishment. Let's just read the first few paragraphs of this book from the preface. He writes, quote, "The Rhodes Scholarships, established by the terms of Cecil Rhodes' seventh will, are known to everyone. What is not so widely known is that Rhodes, in 5 previous wills, left his fortune to form a secret society which was to devote itself to the preservation and expansion of the British Empire. And what does not seem to be known to anyone is that this secret society was created by Rhodes and his principal trustee, Lord Milner, and continues to exist to this day. To be sure, this secret society is not a childish thing like the Ku Klux Klan, and it does not have any secret robes, secret handclasps, or secret passwords. It does not need any of these, since its members know each other intimately. It probably has no oaths of secrecy, nor any formal procedure of initiation. It does, however, exist, and holds secret meetings over which the senior members preside. At various times since 1891, these meetings have been presided over by Rhodes, Lord Milner, Lord Selburne, Sir Patrick Duncan, Field Marshal Jan Smuts, Lord Lothian, and Lord Brand. They have been held in all the British dominions, starting in South Africa about 1903, in various places in London, chiefly 175 Piccadilly, at various colleges at Oxford, chiefly All Souls, and at many English country houses such as Tring Park, Blickling Hall, Cliveden, and others. This society has been known at various times as Milner's Kindergarten, as the Round Table Group, as the Rhodes Crowd, as the Times Crowd, as the All Souls Group, and as the Cliveden Set. All of these terms are unsatisfactory, for one reason or another, and I have chosen to call it the Milner Group. Those persons who have used the other terms, or heard them used, have not generally been aware that all these various terms refer to the same group. It is not easy for an outsider to write the history of a secret group of this kind, but since no insider is going to do it, an outsider must attempt it. It should be done, for this group is, as I shall show, one of the most important historical facts of the 20th century." End quote. All right, we'll leave it there. Again, the entire book is there online for you to read, and I suggest you do so to get a better handle on this group and Carol Quigley's approach to it. Of course, this is ultimately the same type of nexus that he was writing about in Tragedy and Hope, and his other writings, and that he talked about in interviews. Again, there's an early episode of the Corbett Report podcast talking about the Round Table Group that I will include in the show notes, so you can go and listen to that and get a better grasp of these people and who they are. But this, of course, was the big quotation that's often quoted from Quigley, and these powers had a far-reaching aim for international capital, the creation of a system of economic control in the hands of a very few, coordinated through the Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland, the central bank of central banks. Again, that's a paraphrase, but you can find that quote easily enough online. Now, this Anglo-American establishment concept has been taken and sort of added or used in various forms by various people, throwing around different interpretations of it and who's behind it, etc. But that's kind of the genesis of where this idea comes from. And I think it's a very important thing to take a look at for many reasons. And one of them is simply that it provides us an idea of how these secret societies, the really important ones, actually function, which isn't necessarily through robes and handclasps and things that we traditionally associate with secret societies, but it's a group that's small enough that these people all know each other, they all interact.